Welcome back to Leffafriikki Cinema. Today I'm sitting here on the floor of my equipment room and I will introduce you to my next pieces in my rack. I have few more items in my rack and I will introduce you to everything in my rack, everything in my room piece by piece, and tell you a little bit about story behind everything what I have in my room. And right now today's agenda will be my power amplifiers that I'm running all my other channels than subwoofers. Couple of years ago I changed my AV receiver into Arcam 860 processor, and at that time I also needed to change all my amplification into external amplification. At that point with the Arcam, my main goal was just to get cheapest piece of power amplifiers that I was able to find, and the main thing was that I needed multiple channels. And what I did at that point was I had one power amplifier in the prior, which was just a 2-channel, which I used already with my Denon AV receiver. So there I had 2 channels. Then I needed some extra channels. I actually needed 9 channels, so I needed to amplify a total of 11 channels. So what I did at that point, I got 2 very inexpensive Rotel power amplifiers that I used with those 11 channels, what I was able to run with the Arcam. I was extremely satisfied with both of those Rotels. They were pretty well made, heavy piece of equipment, and everything worked really good, and I didn't really need anything else. Everything was working perfect and I was extremely happy with them. But then what happened next? This boy right here, Trinnov Altitude 32 came in, and I was running my Rotel power amplifiers with them, and at one point I decided to get one more to get all my channels in my room active. So I needed to add one more power amplifier, which was NHT PowerEyes 5. That was a D-class power amplifier with which was actually really good, and it worked perfect. I didn't again need anything else. That was perfect fit for my room and everything sounded extremely well. But the problem was with those 3 power amplifiers that I got the little noise on my speakers. I couldn't figure out what was the reason why my speakers had that little ambient noise, and I tried to resolve that many hours and still couldn't find any reason for that. I was talking to Trinnov, I was talking to couple of people in the industry, and nobody figured out what was the problem. But at the end I figured out that the problem was all my amplifiers were with RCA connections, which didn't really work with my new Trinnov. So that was the reason why I had to change all my power amplifiers, and where I end up. Here at the top is Tonewinner, which is one of the most inexpensive power amplifiers in the market. It's 11 channels and it works perfectly in my room. It's a model number, I think 7800. I will make sure and I put it in the video. But it's extremely well built. There's 3 channels running more power in my front, 3 main LCR channels, and rest of the channels will get a little bit less power. and I'm being happy with that. I don't say in any mean that it's the best in the market, but it's definitely worth every penny it cost. It's just like 1,500 euros, so it's really inexpensive if you look for 11 channel power amplifier. But what that meant was that I got most of my channels pretty quiet, actually really quiet, and at that point I knew what is the issue. So I still had one Rotel which I had to sell and get something else, and I was looking that for a while until I found this one. Is Marantz 7707 7-channel power amplifier. So basically I have some free channels right now because I only need 15 channels in my room at the moment, but I have amplifier power for 18 channels, so that is a good thing in case if something happens and let's say one amplifier block breaks or something like that, I can just switch the cables and everything should be still running fine. These are two big boys. They are really heavy. They are really well made, well built. They are with very good connections, and they work exactly as I want them to work. And what is the main thing, my room is totally quiet, and I mean totally quiet. There's no ambient noise at all in my room right now, and pretty much the only reason why I got this Marantz, for example, was to get rid of those ambient noise, which is just due to RCA connections. And now everything in my room is XLR connections, and that made my room totally quiet. So here you can see all the connections. Everything is RCA right now. You can see those really nice labels which I ordered online from kylttidirect. Label, you can name them as you will, and it is really easy to cable manage everything. I already told you about those two big connectors that I have with my Trinnov, but when we go down here and we start looking for connections here at my power amplifiers, you can see that everything goes in with the XLR. So everything here is XLR connections. Same thing here with the Marantz. Everything goes with the XLR, which made my room perfect what comes to ambient noise. And here again you can see those kylttidirect labels which you can name by yourself, and also you can see these other ones which you can name all the cables itself too. So you can decide yourself what kind of names you want to name them, and that works perfect. Now I never need to guess anymore where my cables are going and what are the right cables. So everything works great here in my rack. And even as everybody knows, when you have a lot of cables and you have a rack, it looks like this, but still I know where every single cable goes, and that kylttidirect is the word. If you need anything of that, just connect them and you will find perfect labeling system for any home theater, any rack in the industry. So here we are. this is my power amplifier section, and they run all my 15 channels in my room. Next week I will introduce you something else. I have a few more equipment here in the equipment room, and after that we are ready to move in the room, and I will show you all the speakers and everything what's in the room itself. So subscribe to the channel, like, tell everybody else about the channel, and let's grow together and have fun. I will talk to you in the next video.